Well, here's a TV show we haven't talked about for a little time now. We got She-Hulk in the news, apparently. Because She-Hulk star Tatianna Maslany apparently just recently came out and admitted something that I don't think she should have admitted, to be honest with you. All that it's going to do is just fuel the fire for people like myself and everyone else who have said that She-Hulk is absolute trash and She-Hulk is the pinnacle of MCU. And that's when we knew that they were specifically trying to attack the fans. I mean, look at the storyline, for example. It was all about attacking the fans. That's literally what the story of She-Hulk was for. But we have an article here from Bounding Into Comics with a headline that reads, Marvel She-Hulk star Tatianna Maslany says second season is unlikely and says, I think we blew our budget. And Disney was like, no thanks. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Tatianna Maslany has admitted that She-Hulk completely blew the budget of the show, wasted the money of Marvel and Disney essentially has said, yeah, no thanks, we're not going to move on with season 2. So let's get into this article, guys, from Bounding Into Comics. But of course, before we do, oh, look at that bad CGI. If you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing to my manga channel. The links are in the description box below. I would absolutely love to see you there. It says, sometimes good things do happen. To the joy of nearly every viewer and surprise of very few, She-Hulk attorney at law star Tatianna Maslany has admitted that thanks to its over-bloated budget, a second season of the wildly panned Disney Plus series is unlikely to happen. It was quite ridiculous what they spent on She-Hulk, honestly. Like, I remember looking at the budget and thinking, where is this money going? It's very clearly not going into the CGI. It's not. You can't convince me it is, because that CGI was terrible, god awful, and they spent more of the money on the CGI for Hulk than they did She-Hulk, even in She-Hulk's own show. Like, Hulk took precedence over the CGI aspect versus She-Hulk. It was just hilarious all around. So She-Hulk looked god awful, and everybody called them out on it. The actress revealed that the apparent fate of the Jade Giantess solo series while making an appearance on the season premiere of streamer Nerd Incorrect's Codenames Live, the new class, an ongoing web series in which he and his team host various personality play sessions for the eponymous Codenames and board game. Therein, per a recap of the currently unavailable stream provided by the Direct, Maslany was at one point outright asked by the stream's host, comedian, and actor Tim Reel, should we hope for a season 2? In turn, Maslany playfully revealed, I don't think so. I think we blew our budget, she added, and Disney was like, no thanks. Now, again, this is a pretty big admission from someone like Tatianna Maslany. The fact that she was even allowed to say this, I think is pretty damn hilarious, because they have no faith. We could tell right off the bat, they had no faith in She-Hulk. They went with a storyline that was literally making it about Doomcock. It was making it about attacking the fans. It was making it about bringing the internet critic into the show and making them the villain. That is how far they went with this show. And then they tried to make it into this whole girl boss thing. They did everything possible they possibly could do with She-Hulk, ultimately, other than make it a good show that people will actually want to watch. So again, it is quite hilarious to see that Tatianna actually admitted this, but I'm sure this is not going to be the last time we're going to hear about this. It says, admittedly, this development comes as no surprise given the fact that Marvel Studios not only spent an insane amount of money on She-Hulk, but did so to disastrous results. As previously reported by Variety's Tatiana Siegel in her now famous Crisis at Marvel expose, cost for a single episode of arguably the worst entry in the entire MCU had ballooned to roughly $25 million per episode. Oh my God. Where did they spend that money, ladies and gentlemen? $25 million per episode. That is insanity. That means after 8 episodes, you would have spent an entire movie's budget. That is just crazy, because if you watch She-Hulk, even if you don't watch She-Hulk, let's say you saw clips online, you will notice very quickly, and you would ask yourself, where did this money go? Where did any of the money go? There's no way that this is $25 million worth of budget in this episode. It's impossible. There's no way. There's no freaking way. And again, it makes you wonder what they're actually doing with the money here. It says, but with this series being made as a self-admitted FU to the male fans of the franchise and its source materials, this money was essentially thrown in the garbage as audiences chose to do anything else with their time other than subject themselves to a series writer's multi-million-dollar venting session. Notably, this is not the first time Maslany has poured water on the possibility of She-Hulk's return to television. Asked during an October 2023 interview with extras Katie's Krause whether or not if she had heard any word regarding a second season of the series, the actress asserted, I mean, I don't think so yet. making her reference to her character's fourth wall breaking meeting with the head of MCU Studios in She-Hulk's first season finale. Maslany explained Kevin in the scene seems to be very dismissive of this idea. So if we're basing this off of real Kevin, then it doesn't seem likely. But he was also, I think, just trying to get rid of Jen at that point because she was asking too many questions. Then pressed directly by Krause. So you don't really think we're going to get a season 2, Maslany affirmed. I don't know. If I could be coy and have some little secret, I would do that, but I really don't know anything. Again, I would be shocked if there's a season 2 of this, but I mean, we're getting season 2 of Ahsoka for crying out loud, so you never know. Disney just seems to love losing money. It seems to be their best thing. I think they measure how much success they have by how much money their TV shows and their movies lose in a year. I think they got it kind of backwards. You know, most people like to actually go for profit, whereas Disney, they don't like to go for profit. They like to actually lose as much money as possible, and the more money they lose, the more successful they are. So I don't really know what's going on over at Disney, but I do know that She-Hulk was a travesty. I really do, because the comic book version of She-Hulk is actually heavily loved by a lot of the original fans of the source material, and unfortunately, it got co-opted by a very, very angry, dickless writer that just absolutely wanted to make fun of men, destroy the people who are into the original She-Hulk, and put her own anger into the script. That's basically what she wanted to do. She projected her anger into the script. It says, interestingly, it should be noted that while Maslany has been constant in her uncertainty regarding the second season of She-Hulk, at no point during any of her interviews has the actress ever said that she's outright done with the character. As such, while another television outing for Jennifer Walters seems unlikely, it does not rule out the possibility that she may appear in some other MCU project. After all, the franchise is currently starving for recognizable characters to add to its post-Endgame rosters of Avengers. Well, that's true too. I mean, they're trying to do, I don't really know what happened to the all-female Avengers. I know they were trying to do an all-female Avengers. I think that got canceled. They were trying to do the Young Avengers. There's rumors of that being canceled. There's so many things. It's weird, man. Like Marvel, Disney, Lucasfilm, they all like to announce things way ahead of time, and then half of them get canceled, if not more. It actually is kind of ridiculous, you know? And I know that what they're doing now is they're trying to do less actual TV shows. They're not trying to put as much out there. They're saying that they're a little too saturated. So they're announcing less and less and less. And hopefully that gives them some consistency. But overall, I mean, the amount of shows that they've announced and they get canceled is just ridiculous. So I'm not going to be surprised if season 2 never shows around. I would love to have the season 2 because, again, these shows provide so much content for YouTubers. They really do. They provide so much content because people would rather watch YouTubers making fun of this stuff than actually watch the show itself. It's just the truth. There's a reason why that whole ecosystem exists. So I would love to see a season 2 for She-Hulk just for that fact. But realistically speaking, when we're talking about quality television, this is not a TV show that's supposed to get a season 2. It's just not. But unfortunately for Disney, Lucas, and Marvel, they all fell upward. Every single one of them fell upward, and they make TV shows have season 2s that never deserved one in the first place. They give season 2s to some of the lowest viewed TV shows in their entire history, and they reward them. They reward them for their failure. It's very weird. And like I said, Disney has their own metrics of success, and I think it works completely backward from every other company in known existence. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.